Happy July 4, guys. Hey guys, bike blogger here. Going on the Katy Trail. I've come from Treloar to McKittrick in a previous video. And so now I'm going to go from McKittrick to Portland. So let's get going. It's 15 miles. I'm using my GMC Denali road bike. I did another video on this previously, and like I said, I had another video riding in the Katy Trail. So we're going to go that way through the tunnel, and it's 15 miles. So, and 15 miles back, so it'll be a total of 30 miles. I got some water with me. Let's get going. So, if you watch my previous Katy Trail video, you might know riding this bike that I had forgotten. I had forgotten to raise the seat, and I still have not raised the seat. So, unfortunately, I need to do a video on. I've been wanting to do a video on fixing my seat post. My seat post is stuck, and I need to use like some sort of a liquid or something, chemical to unseize it. Also on my previous video, I sort of spit on the camera, or drooled on the camera, or got some water on the camera. So we're, like I said, heading from McKittrick, Missouri to Portland, Missouri. Just went through a tunnel there. It went underneath a state road. Now I'm crossing a river here, crossing a bridge. We might see some cyclists on the trail today, you know, so looks like there's someone maybe up there. In my last video, there was nobody on the trail. Looks like this time there might be a couple people at least. This seat is ridiculous. It's sort of funny. It's pretty low. Sort of funny. Hello.
Hi.
Saying hello to people. Anyway, today is July 4, 2015. We're traveling at 16.4 miles per hour. Also known as July 4th in the United States. This is Independence Day. It's a holiday commemorating the date in which the United States declared its independence from the United Kingdom. I don't know a lot of history on that. I don't know if it was actually July 4th. But anyway, people will be shooting off fireworks because, I don't know, I guess fireworks sort of like, you know, figuratively speaking, or sort of represents the shooting of cannons or something. I don't know. I should have done a little research before I left. You know, I'm just a typical American. I don't really know. I'm not very good with my U.S. history. I think kids should probably spend more time learning about U.S. history. I mean, heck, it's only, you know, 200, 250 plus years of history. There's not a lot there. Lots happened, of course, but I remember when I was in school, I spent a lot of time learning about world history and stuff, which is good information to know, but I sort of feel like United States kids, myself included, would benefit more from more education related to our own country and civics courses and stuff like that. Interesting thing I remember, The two main things I remember from my civics course in high school, and I only have one civics course, US civics course. One was I had to draw the whole map of the United States with all the states on a blank sheet of paper, so from memory. And I remember I got everything except I screwed up the North Midwestern area. Sorry, Indiana. Sorry, Ohio. Sorry, Pennsylvania, I think a little. I think I forgot a couple of you, or I didn't draw you in correct right, or had you flip-flopped or something. But I got all the Midwest, all the Western states, and all the Northeastern states, which is sort of impressive. I don't think I could do that now. Not without some studying up, memorization, geography. Now that's something that kids could benefit from, I think, from school. Maybe a little less ancient world history, although that is really neat. Ancient history, Egyptians and Romans and all that good stuff. But you know, geography, you know, being able to pick out where the Middle Eastern countries are, where the Eastern European, Western European countries are, because that is not something, stereotypically at least, bugs, American students can really do very well. Oh yeah, and the second thing I really remember from my civics class in high school was 9/11. I was back in 10th grade or something, I think, when the two World Trade Center towers in New York City went down. And I remember seeing that. I turned on the TV for a little bit and saw some coverage of it on the stupid news media, CNN or whatever. But anyway, those are the two big things I actually remember about that year and that course. I think kids would probably benefit from more stuff like that. Anyway, we've gone 1.6 miles. Got some water with me. I didn't realize, but I haven't eaten for 6 hours. So, and the drive out here was like about an hour and a half. I expect this ride to last an hour and a half to 2 hours. Then I got another hour and a half to get home. I'm pretty hungry. I didn't bring anything with me. That was my big mistake. But I'm glad I got water. It's a little warm, 85 degrees Fahrenheit on the Katy Trail in Missouri, USA. Heading west from McKittrick, Missouri to Portland, Missouri. Total round trip distance will be 30 miles. We can already tick 2 miles off that, so we got another 28 miles to go now. We're averaging about 16.5 miles per hour. It's another thing about the United States. We use we don't use the metric system very much. We use the US customary unit, Old English system or whatever. It's a little beat up over here. Some junk over here. Oh yeah, one thing I didn't bring with me, I just realized, I think I left it back in my car, but flashlight. Didn't bring a flashlight with me. I don't expect to be out that late though. It's only 6:11 p.m. a Saturday afternoon / evening, I guess. Sun's not supposed to go down for at least a couple hours, I think, from now. I should be fine. On one of my previous videos, I noticed, I think I had forgotten to charge my flashlight, and it was a little dark. But then especially when I went through that one section where all the lights were out on the street because the power was out or whatever, I couldn't see very well. My glasses also had a bunch of rain droplets on them, but yeah, I couldn't see very well. So what I'm probably gonna end up doing is we're gonna be trying out a new light on my bikes, probably quite a bit brighter, so you have that to look forward to. Future video, not right now, of course. Going 15.5 miles per hour. Like I said, it's a holiday. I may cross paths with some actual people this time. Last time, I didn't see a soul, although I think there were a couple of people fishing down by the river. So if you don't know what the Katy Trail is, it is a rails to trails bike trail. It's so flat because there used to be train tracks, you know, railroad tracks went along here. They're gone now and replaced with this. And so this narrow, long stretch across the state of Missouri, at least half of the state of Missouri, it's over 200 miles long, and it's like a state park. Gotta stay hydrated. Let's get ourselves some water. Taste it. Oh my. So I pumped up the tires before I left. Didn't do any other maintenance. I was thinking about oiling the chain, but I don't know, I wanted to get out here, so before it got dark, so I didn't end up doing that. Fortunately, I don't feel very hungry right now, but I know as I start making my trek back the other way later in this video, I'll probably be rather low in energy since I haven't eaten for several hours. I don't have a bar or anything with me. It's only 30 miles though. I just don't usually do longer rides like this. Except this is pretty easy going. It's flat. Some people up ahead. I don't know if I'm gonna end up passing them or not. I am slowly catching up to them. I'm just not going that fast, and not very efficient because, like I said, the seat post is too low. I need to raise my saddle higher. Look like they got panniers or something. They must be touring or something. Feels pretty nice, especially in the shade. See if we can pass them, preferably in the sunlight. You see people coming up on you. Go around on the left here. Coming up on your left. Happy July 4, guys. Thanks. 16.8 miles. Yeah, they look like they were touring or something. They had a whole bunch of junk on their bikes. And when I say touring, I mean people who ride along the trail and then stop and camp and keep going. I think that's sort of cool, except, you know, with a buddy it'd probably be pretty cool, but I don't know. I'm not much of a camper. I do love riding my bike though. If I had more free time, you know, if I could get more time away from work and my bike commutes to work, of course, I would you know, maybe a tent, something like that, go for a longer ride, sort of like a bicycle vacation, bicycling while on vacation. So this is my only multi-speed bicycle, and you probably noticed I haven't changed gears since I really started, and that's partially because looks like we got something going on here. Gotta cross the street. It's pretty. The trail sort of just went away there. It sort of threw me off a little. Now it's getting wider again. Like I was saying, I have multiple gears on this bike, but you don't really see me using them. Let's go ahead and pump it up one gear. While we do that, hit it a little. Just hit it. 19 miles an hour. This is a heavy bike. We've got some turns coming up here. Not very trusting in the tires on this bike, although I really should be, because this bike has held up very well for me. Let's see. Let's go. Whoa, okay, down a gear. I sort of look probably a little ridiculous because I'm spinning rather quickly, but I like to spin. Did another video on that a while ago. Spinning versus grinding. Spinning basically means spinning at a constant, rather quickly, you know, fast speed. Grinding is more like a locomotive up a hill, you know, really low cadence, that is revolutions per minute. $16 miles an hour. I think we're going to probably average about 15 to 16 miles per hour on this thing. Oh, it's pretty bumpy. Okay, so I've never been on this part of the Katy Trail before. I've been trying to do these videos as I go down the Katy Trail. But again, if you watch my previous video, Treloar to McKittrick, I explained that I've gone from the far east end of the Katy Trail, that is in, what is that city called? A little town called, watch out for cars. I don't remember. It's the far eastern edge, basically through St. Charles, Missouri, and all the way up to here now. So I've ridden probably at least a third, maybe about, of the whole Katy Trail, and I've ridden that third forward and back. So probably pretty soon here I will have racked up a cumulative number of miles equal to the full one-way length of the Katy Trail, which would be, like I said, 220 miles or something, which doesn't sound like that far, but you know, it's time consuming, like I said. So unless you got a week off work or something all in a row or something, it's hard to make time, you know, to do something like that. But if you can, I'd highly recommend it, especially if you're into bicycling. And if you're in the area, live somewhere within central Missouri, I guess, which is where this trail cuts through, I definitely recommend it. It's really easy going, like I said. It's just a gravel path like this, and it's flat pretty much, except for maybe the western edge of it. And it just goes and goes and goes. And we have gone 5 miles. So we're like a third of the way to Portland now. Once I get there, I'm going to turn around. I think there might be some other trailheads or trailheads, stopping stations or whatever between McKittrick and Portland, although I'm not certain. I try to break these up so between each of the trailheads it's slow down for cars. Between each of the trailheads, I try to always stop at a trailhead where it's, you know, there's a nice parking lot and a bathroom, water fountain, because they aren't at every trailhead, and it's nice to just have that in case you need it, because like I said, it's now taking me about an hour and a half to drive out here, and that's the only thing that saddens me, you know, because it's like I have to drive, you know, a few dozen miles to get out here, and then I don't even ride my bike for a few dozen miles. So it's like I'm driving a lot more than I am biking, and it just makes me a little sad. I would bike out here, like I said, if it was closer to home and it wouldn't take all day. I would bike to the trail and then ride on the trail, I mean. Going 15.5 miles per hour. This bike weighs like 33 pounds or something. I got a sheet, a spec sheet on my website, bikeblogger.com, with all the specifications of this bike. In case you're interested, the GMC Denali. I'm going to take a drink here. It's made by Kent. Manufactured in China, of course. Expect no less. Costed me 160 bucks US back in 2013, 2012, I don't remember. Bought it off of the internet. It's basically it's a little better than maybe a Walmart bike, but I'd highly recommend a better quality bike though if you're really into cycling. I just have this because it's just pretty much become my dedicated gravel bike, weekend bike. It's good exercise, you know, to try to push a heavy metal bike along, you know. It strengthens your legs. It's good exercise, except for the fact that this is mostly flat, so it's not like I'm having to climb any steep hills or anything. It's neat scenery. It's pretty quiet. Seemed abnormally quiet around home. I mean, like the streets were quiet and everything. I think because everybody's over at a friend's house or family's house and barbecuing up something, since it is the 4th of July, middle of, you know, summer and all that good stuff. And yeah, unless you've seen some of my older videos, you probably wouldn't know it, but I'm pretty much a vegan, so no pork or beef hot dogs for me. Burgers. I like my garden burgers. I don't consider myself 100% vegan though. Vegan being, you know, you don't associate yourself with any animal products, because I consider myself mostly a dietary vegan. That is, I mostly do not eat products with animal parts in them, except I do have honey and And I do purchase animal products like wool, socks for the winter. But otherwise, you know, no milk, no dairy milk that is, no cheese, eggs, butter. There are a bunch of substitutes you can get for all that stuff. It's like I consider myself partially a lactose intolerant person too. All that dairy stuff just messes up my nose, I've found out. Even though I'm not officially diagnosed that or whatever, I'm self-diagnosed. Stay away from that stuff. Hey, you know, whatever works for you. A nice juicy burger is always good, but you can have a really nice juicy garden burger too. Pour a bunch of oil on it or something. So we've gone 6.5 miles. Smell the fresh cut grass. Whew. Oh, it's been raining a lot. I was sort of wondering if the trail was going to be flooded, but as you can sort of tell, maybe not so much from the camera, but because of the wide lens, but the trail's sort of like on a levee here, so it's elevated above some of the other stuff. So somewhat protected, and it somewhat protects the properties over to my right, the houses and stuff. Couldn't really imagine living way out here, but it is pretty country. The United States has a lot of pretty areas, especially out west. We're just in the Midwest though, smack dab in the middle of the country, the United States. So yeah, when I'm done here, I know my knees are gonna be a little achy. Yeah, I was talking about rainwater. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot of rainwater over there. It's sort of flooded a little. And that field over there and down to the side. But we're elevated, so we're doing pretty good up here. It's not muddy or anything, which is awesome. I don't have to deal with that. The last time I did one of these videos, or actually the only other video I had posted at least, the Katy Trail, it was back around Easter, which was late March, I think, sometime in April maybe. And now it is early July, and it is pretty warm. Although not a lot warmer. I was sort of wondering if I was going to be able to do a video or not this summer, but it's been, like I said, raining a lot and a little cooler than usual, possibly due to the melting ice caps, creating a cool effect on the planet, at least for now. That's interesting, the North Pole. That's still one of the few areas of the world that is sort of, I don't know, like a no man's land, or just sort of like, you know, no one's really claimed it. Russia's nearby it, and so is the United States with Alaska, and then so are some of the Scandinavian countries like Norway and Sweden. They're near the North Pole, as are some other island countries, I think. But there's a lot of resources up there, so I read, so I hear. And when I say resources, I basically mean oil. Oil's on everything, including this bike. Somewhere in the manufacturing process, I'm sure, too. Gotta oil, lubricate the machines, build this stuff. But that gets me back to, I feel a little bad about driving so far just to bike. That's why that's partially why, partial excuse why I have not done next to any mountain biking videos. It sort of depresses me to drive somewhere to ride a bike. I just like to ride my bike, you know, but I need to get out and ride some trails because that's really fun. I don't like to scare the animals, but you know, take what we can get. So I hope to be doing some mountain biking videos soon. Another excuse coming up. I haven't really been able to because it's been so wet outside and the trails are all muddy. I want some of that hard packed dirt so I can go real fast and not get real messy. Hopefully things start drying off here as we get deeper into summer and hit up some trails, do some videos. I've been wanting to do it for a while. Haven't actually done a video since I put that new tire on my mountain bike. I haven't even really been able to test that out, although it's very similar to my previous tire I had on there. Did a video on that. It was a Kinda Nevagal or whatever, Joe Tarmac series or whatever. Anyway, looks pretty gnarly tires. Good tread, lots of tread, lots of rolling resistance, but probably better suited for mud actually. Okay, we've gone 8 miles, over halfway there to Portland, Missouri. So we're over a quarter of the way done with this video. I sort of expect I might have to change the battery out at some time, so I got a spare battery just in case. It's sort of shady back here. I don't think it's cloudy though. I don't want to get rained on. That happened in a previous video. Got almost all the way home and it just started pouring on me. And right around when I cut the video out, when I ended the video, right after that, the microphone got, I don't know, waterlogged or something, and the sound went out. So can't really ride in heavy rain like that for long, especially when it's the external audio setup. .3 miles. We're going about 15 miles per hour now. I think I'm getting tired. I'm spinning somewhat quickly. I'm going at a reasonable pace, I think, for the gravel. I'm not going that fast, spinning wise, but you know, I'm spinning at a decent pace. Not too harsh, you know, not too slow of a spin that I am grinding and wearing away the cartilage on my knees or whatever. But not so fast I'm just sweating everywhere. I actually feel pretty cool. As long as I keep moving, I don't think I'm gonna really sweat much. That's noticeable at least. Alright. It's a funny thing. I mean, it's like you see a stark contrast, and as I sort of expected, way out here, which is not that far from the city of St. Louis, but still out here in the country, you get a pretty large contrast between, you know, the locals who generally do not have that fancy looking houses, and then the the people who have the second homes or the weekend getaways or the summer getaways or whatever, you got these big mansions. There's a bit of contrast out here. But you get a little bit of that of any town you go through. You got the rich people, the poor people, and all of us in between. 15.6 miles per hour. Almost 9 miles now. It's going by pretty quickly. You can always look at the timestamp on the video, but let's see what my bike computer says. We've been going only 35 minutes. This is going to be a long video. I do some long videos occasionally. Got some other videos where I'm riding on other trails. I sort of want to, collect them all and get videos of every trail around my area, the city in which I live, but there's only so much time, so we do what we can. Let other people pick up the rest. 16 miles per hour. Haven't seen another bicyclist yet. I sort of imagine that when I do get to Portland and I turn around, I will see some of those people again that I passed earlier. Because where are they gonna go? And just walk off into the woods, right? Oh. Once you start feeling your mouth, feeling dry, that's a sign you waited too long to drink some water. Yeah, I think the bike I'm riding, I think I got it in my specs, but I'm just using the stock tires, which are some generic 32 or 35 millimeter tires. But I have some thorn resistant, puncture resistant, flat resistant tire tubes on these clincher tires. I got some heavy tubes and never had a flat. And I've ridden, like I said, the whole, many miles on this Katy Trail exclusively with this bike and these tires and these tubes, and I've never had a flat. Of course, the worst time to ride is probably around fall, when a lot of thorns and stuff start falling off trees in the autumn. 15.2 miles per hour. I've moved my bike computers around, so I'm not even actually 100% certain how accurate this bike computer is for speed, but I am slowing down, I can tell that. 14.6 miles per hour. 6:40 p.m. right now. We've gone about 10 miles. We got 5 more miles to go. We're about 2/3 of the way to Portland now. Time just flies by when you're talking to yourself. Ugh. I like to ride with friends, but it's one of those difficult things, you gotta make time, and time is precious. Sort of like how I imagine it when I get older. Money's not as important as time is. You gotta make the best of your time. Sometimes you just want to sleep in, though, You just want to dream longer. Sticks. It's experiences like this, though, riding your bike through the woods, that make dreams seem that much more real. We have a pretty setting right now. Like I said, the saddle on this bike is too low. So if you keep seeing my knees in the video frame, my hairy knees, I apologize. Deal with it! Deal with it! Ah! Okay. 18 miles per hour. There's someone with a bike. All right, what's going on up here? I hate these, these fences that stick out. They're supposed to prevent, trucks and stuff from getting on here. But if you're sort of delusional and you're like, oh, look at that, that's pretty, you run right into it. So be a little careful. Although it does sort of encourage bicyclists to slow down, I guess, which they should, when they cross a street like that. Country road where people are going at ridiculous speeds along rolling hills and tight curves, 60 miles per hour or something. That's, as a city boy, I think that's just sort of crazy. Dangerous. Little creek. It's always fun crossing bridges. There's somebody's house. Now we're sort of going back into the woods here, getting further away from the street. We were sort of following the street for a while, but now we're sort of going to be following the Missouri River, I guess. Or some sort of, I guess that's the creek to the left. It's sort of dark back here, but about 4 more miles and then we're going to turn around. And now it's all of a sudden gotten really pretty. Getting further away from the street, more into the woods. I can tell we're on a slight incline now. Still going pretty fast, but in fact, when I was driving out here and right now, my mind is like, I've been here before. This looks familiar. Sort of how a lot of the world is. A lot of things looked, no offense to any higher being, a lot of things look cut and paste though. So you gotta stick to the trail and don't wander off too far. You get lost in the woods. Those survival tips. Moss grows on the north side of trees. But is it different in the southern hemisphere? I don't know. 15.6 miles per hour. On about 11 miles now. Thereabouts. I don't know if the camera can pick up the output here on my bike computer, if it can sort of see it in the light or not. All my videos, by the way, are in 1080p HD video. So if it's not automatically set to that on your player and you want higher quality, you can get a little higher quality by upping it if you got the bandwidth. If you don't live like out in dial-up country. Or if you're really interested, there's always a browser extension or something, and you can just download my videos, let them download overnight or something. I'm sure YouTube loves me. I got a ton of multi-gigabyte videos on their website. I know they're beyond terabytes and, well, what's the next one? Quad bytes, petabytes, or whatever. But still, sort of spam the YouTube servers with tons of these biking videos. Not spam to me, but there's someone who likes to watch, I don't know, bicyclist behaving badly, those are videos that are sort of funny too, might think differently. To each his own, you know. Some people like the long videos like this. Some people like the short videos like I do as well. Some people like the videos when I just shut up sometimes and not so talkative. But pretty much all my videos are talkative, so. I find videos where they're narrated by the rider or somebody are just more interesting than watching just countless videos of a bike. Although similarly, I do like the chest mount, the mounted viewpoint that we got going right now in this video, where you can sort of see the handlebars and see my hairy legs building up little crystals of sweat on them, and the little hairs. It's almost sort of hypnotic. 60 miles per hour, 11.5 miles. I really feel like I'm going uphill a little bit, but I'm still going pretty fast, so I don't know. I don't know if I'll be going slightly downhill on the way back or not. That's the one thing about flat surfaces. You can't really coast. You just gotta keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. I drink some more water again. Got plenty of water here, and like a gallon of water weighs was it like 8 pounds or something? Water is heavy. Yeah. Maybe that's partially what keeps the, I don't know, I'm thinking astronomy now, and gravity and the sun and typical stuff a bicyclist starts thinking about when they're wandering, bicycling aimlessly in a straight line for a long time. A lot of my rides along this trail that I didn't record on video like this, I just listened to, you know, my music. But since I don't have any music going, the only music I got right now is my voice. And ain't it a pretty voice? Oh. Oh, I saw something up there. Let's go find out what it was. 60 miles an hour. We've gone 12.1 miles. Yeah, what was that? Oh, I saw some wildlife or something. I want to say I will stop when I see something neat, like some deer or something, but I'm also sort of one of those people that doesn't like to stop. So, anyway, 12.25 miles, 15.5 miles per hour. Getting a little tired. My butt isn't so tired though. It's a pretty good saddle for a while, this cushy saddle, until, you know, it starts getting sort of not cushy anymore. Once I stop and turn around in Portland here, I know my butt's gonna be pretty tired because relieving the pressure on it and then putting pressure back on it. It's good to do that when you're riding a bike, though, to like relieve some pressure every, you know, get off the saddle a little bit every few minutes. Just like everything else in life, moderation. You know, keep the blood flowing, keep stretching, keep turning your neck, stay loose. Not so loose you're a goose, but pretty loose. You don't want to tighten up too much, overstress yourself. That's why it's good to stretch before a ride too. Wish I did stretch before I got in the car, but when I got here and I got out of the car, I didn't stretch. So, sort of all for naught there. Oh well. 15 miles per hour. Ugh. I really do feel like I'm going uphill. And there is like a river next to me. I think it is the Missouri River or something. Can't see it through all the woods though. I don't think you can really see anything over there, at least from the camera here. There's water over there though. I must say one thing though about this, having this camera mounted to my chest, it is making me sweaty, compressed against my body. Fortunately, I don't feel like I've gotten bit up a lot. I didn't spray any mosquito repellent or anything on me. All right, gone almost 13 miles now. So a couple more miles and we'll start heading back. And then we'll pick up this video with a future video continuing on from Portland. I don't know when I'll get around to that. Maybe this year. We'll see. After this ride, I want to take a shower, get back home here, and go out and see some fireworks. Like I said, it's a tradition in the United States, 4th of July. Shoot fireworks off. Sort of like it's a tradition on the Western calendar or whatever to shoot fireworks off on January 1st around the world for New Year's. Always fun going across a bridge. We've gone 13 miles, 2 more miles. I haven't really been paying attention. I don't know if you guys have in terms of looking for trailheads, but I don't think I've really seen one. I guess the next one from McKittrick is Portland. Sun's getting a little lower. I got cycling shoes on, clipless pedals, you know, so good retention, keeps pretty good form, keeps me sort of attached to the bike, since I really don't ever have to get my feet off the pedals because I'm not really having to stop for any roads or anything. Although I could unclip here for a second and use one foot to pedal, just my left foot, and then I clip back in. And I unclip my right foot, or my left foot? Yeah, left foot. Unclip my left foot, and I just pedal with my right leg, which I actually seem to be worse at, and then I clip back in. Woo! 18 miles per hour. Gone 13.5 miles. Don't really want to use up all my energy now though, because I'm only halfway done with this ride about. I gotta ride all the way back. Alright, I'm gonna chill. 60 miles per hour. Drink some water again. I've been sort of watching the camera lens, making sure it stays clean. I don't drip any water or anything on it. That's a little aggravating to find out after a long ride that something got on the lens, and you lose a lot of good video. Luckily, it's never really happened to me before, but there have been times where I forget to wipe the lens from the rain or something. It's like, not as good detail. .8 miles about one more mile or so here, and we'll be in Portland, Missouri. I feel like I got something in my eye. Oh, I hate that. I hate when that happens. you know, you get something in your eye, and I think usually it's like an eyelash that was hanging over. I guess sort of like a indicator of bad grooming practices or something. You need to, you know, watch those eyebrows and keep them neatly trimmed or whatever. You know, the loose hairs sort of start hanging down in your eyeball. Anyway, 13.98, 13.99, 14 miles. We have 1 mile to go. And supposedly there's a trailhead up the trail here somewhere. At least according to the online literature. Maybe they were just trying to trick me. And maybe I'll be going slightly downhill on the way back. I don't know. People are going to start shooting off firecrackers and fireworks soon enough. Not a very smart idea around here where there's so much wood, so much combustible products. Sort of dark back here. I am wearing sunglasses though, so it's not quite as dark as it appears out my sunglasses. 14.3 miles. A little more than a half mile to go now. Sorry about the clanking noise you might be hearing. I always bring my keys with me and they're always jingling in my pocket. .6 miles per hour. Comes a motored vehicle. It's waving to me. I'm trying to stay aero. I'm trying to stay down low. All right, can we do no hands? Let's see. See if Bike Blogger can do no hands. And if he falls down, that guy can maybe come back and help him out. The heck is that? It's like a picnic area over there or something. You can see the river, Missouri River, I think. I don't think that was the trailhead though. It's up here somewhere. I definitely do feel like I'm going uphill now. I'm getting higher above the rim of the river. Oh yeah, I said I was going to try and do no hands. Let's see. This bike is so wobbly. Here we go. No hands. No hands. No hands. And then Bike Blogger fell down and got himself hurt. A quarter mile now, I guess. We're going to turn around in Portland. There's the river. I think you can see that. Like I said, it's 85 degrees Fahrenheit, July 4th, 2015, on the Katy Trail in the state of Missouri, USA. And it is 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. We've gone about 15 miles now, and I'm becoming a little concerned. Where the heck is Portland, Missouri? I was reading the map, right? This trail's been really nice. Haven't really been any downed trees or anything. I guess that guy who was on the motor vehicle back there ways sort of comes down this way occasionally Make sure there's nothing in the road, on the trail here to be hazardous to bicyclists. 16.6 miles per hour. We've gone 15.2 miles. Here we go. There it is. Portland, Missouri. We made it. I'm gonna go up to the trailhead and turn around and go back. And we will continue this video, or continue this trek in a future video from this location. But this video goes on. This video goes on another, let's turn around here. This video goes on another 30 minutes, or 40, 50, I don't know, minutes. Turn around here. So we're in Portland, Missouri. We're turning around. Say bye-bye, Portland. Bye-bye, Portland, Missouri. We'll be back here at a future date. And now we head back to McKittrick, Missouri. You see my shadow. Hello. Hello, shadow. Okay. And that took us approximately 1 hour to go 15 miles. So that means our average speed obviously was 15 miles per hour. And now we head back. In fact, we actually went 15.5 miles, so our average speed was more like 15.5 miles per hour. And now we head back a very gradual downhill as we get close to the river again. Got 1 hour to go, basically, until we're done here. Woo! On our way home, on our way back. So for about 3 hours of driving round trip, we get about 2 hours of bicycling. Not a horrible trade-off there. I prefer more biking and less driving, but you know, I'm gonna stop complaining. It is what it is. Pretty river over there. I don't think you can get any of this in the video, but it's sort of hard to see through all the trees. There is a clearing up here. I'll try and show you again. We go back downhill here a little bit, going 15.2 miles per hour. Oh. Coming up on that, I think it's a clearing. Is that here? Oh, bump, bump, bump. No, not right here, almost. Here we go. All right, there's the river. There's the Missouri River. At least I hope it's the Missouri River. If I was wrong, I'll correct myself in the video description below. And let's keep going. Woo, 19 miles per hour. We've gone 16 miles. Heading back. I can start counting down backwards, but got about 14 miles to go now. And then we'll be back in McKittrick, Missouri. See if we pass that motor vehicle guy. There's that weird, like, picnic area or whatever. It looks all flooded out. And, I don't know if we'll see those touring cyclists again or not. If we do, we'll of course say hello, because that's a nice thing to do. Ride, bike blogger, ride, 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 ride. Okay. So it's 7 o'clock now. Oh boy, that means It'll probably be 8 o'clock or so when I get back to my car, which means it'll be about 9:30 when I get home, and the fireworks begin at 10 p.m. So that gives me a half hour to get out to see the fireworks tonight. So I got time. I timed this just perfectly, except for the fact that I should have a flashlight or something. It's so dark back here. Sorry about that. Like I said, look forward to a future video. I'm going to have a brighter light on my bicycles, and it should make everything in the video pop out better too on my night rides. I know I've gotten a lot of positive comments, a lot of praises, a lot of wanting to know what my headlight is on my bike, which is the Phoenix UC40 UE. It's a USB rechargeable front light, just a flashlight basically. And you can replace the battery in it, which is awesome. You can swap the batteries out as you go, and it starts dimming. But if you thought that was neat, just wait in future videos and I'm gonna have a much brighter light. At least I hope I will. So we shall see. You know, you can never be too bright as long as you're not shining it directly in anybody's eyes. Especially considering car headlights, which are, you know, humongous. You know, as long as you're not shining them right in people's face, or when you have the high beams on. You know, you don't have that when you're approaching another vehicle in the country. You know, you turn down your high beams to the low beams for a little bit, out of courtesy. If you don't own a car or you've never driven in the country, it's common courtesy to turn your high beams off when you're approaching another car from the other direction so you don't blind them. It's also common to use your high beams when you're out in the country where there is no street lights. There are no street lights. Blah. Grammar police. Oh. All right, we've gone 17 miles. We're counting up to 30 miles, or a little more thereabouts. So, got 13 miles to go. Feeling pretty good still. Again, really important, have that water. Delish. That's another thing, I'm gonna be hungry too, probably. That's one of my concerns. This ride is only gonna end up being like 2 hours long though. And generally you don't need any food until you reach the 2 hour mark. It depends on your own body though. Don't believe what I say or what other people say. Everybody's a little different. Definitely have water though. That's a given. Our bodies are mostly made out of water. So you can live longer without food than you can without water or some sort of liquid. Some sort of a refreshing liquid. Not a hard drink, but you know, get some water. Ugh. Loosen up the muscles a little. 15 miles per hour. 17.3 miles we've traveled. Yeah, I don't know where that motor vehicle guy, the little golf cart guy or whatever, where he was heading. Wonder if we'll pass him or not. He was heading all the way to McKittrick and then was going to turn around. I saw a pickup truck back there. I don't know if it was his. A lot of people out in the country have pickup trucks. I don't really know why. I guess it makes logical sense if you're having to cut a lot of stuff down in your big yard and having to haul all the debris somewhere, and you have to do that a lot. Otherwise, I think it's just cultural, you know. A lot of people say they don't like communism, but they like uniformity, military. Everybody own a truck. Everybody in a yuppie city, everybody own a bicycle. Everybody do like everybody else. And then there's the rebels that don't want to do anything like anybody else. And then there's the rest of us. Ugh. We're a little crazy and a little conformist. 17.8 miles. I can feel the legs getting tired. Bump, bump, bump. There's no water over there. We're in the forest. In the woods, at least. I keep resituating this strap a little. I don't get so sweaty. If you watch my other videos, I try not to cut my videos, but sometimes I do. And you'll never know what was in between the cuts. Just boring stuff, I assure you. Nothing going on there. Nothing going on there. 18 miles per hour? Or 18 miles? Heck no, I'm not going 18 miles per hour. I can if I want to, like this though. 18 miles per hour, 19, 20 miles per hour. Woo! And we slow down. 18.6 miles per hour. We're about level. I say we're still 30 feet above the, maybe not 30 feet, 20 feet above the river. But we've been going slightly downhill, so my guess was correct, I think, in that we were going slightly uphill, and now we're going slightly downhill. Ah, that wasn't fun. Felt like a bee or something stung me. What the heck? That's happened to me before, though. You're just like riding along, like da 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 da. I'm so happy, I'm a bicyclist, nothing going wrong with me. And then, damn, there's a bee in my helmet, you know? And you get a bee stuck in your helmet, and you gotta stop quickly, or you maybe you do like I do, and you just go a little slow. You're like, okay, there's something crawling around in my helmet, it'll work its way out. Okay, it's starting to sting my skull. Okay, it's feeding on my brain. Get it off me! You know, sorta. I don't think there's anyone behind me. I'm acting a little crazy right now. Okay. Alright. Focus, bike blocker. We've gone 18.5 miles. We're traveling at a super duper speed of 14 miles per hour. Come on, let's speed it up here a little. Traveling at a super duper speed of 16.6 miles per hour. And haven't seen anybody on the trail yet. As I said, it is getting later. It is 7:16 p.m. It is dinner time. Yes, I see something up there. My glasses are fogging up a little. It's sort of humid out here. watch where I'm going. I'm sort of just looking for wildlife. Mostly out here in the Missouri woods, you'll see deer, and for whatever reason, you'll see turtles. I've seen turtles quite often. I mean, more often than any other animals, really. Outside of the typical squirrel and bird and whatnot. All birds look alike, right? Oh, it's pretty. It's got about 19 miles. 11 miles to go or so. I'm gonna start counting them down from 10 soon. The only thing not looking forward to or whatever is driving 80, 90 minutes back home. At least it's mostly highway miles, and it just sort of goes by rather quickly. It's just, you know, I hate driving. Some people who might not cycle much may consider bicycling like on the road, like on my commuting videos, to be a, you know, a stressful thing or whatever. I don't think people realize, at least for me, driving a car is almost more, it's like, it is more stressful than riding a bike around a lot of fast moving cars, because when you're in a car, you're always, almost always in that same group with all the rest of the cars on the same traffic light sequence. So you never get a break from it. There's always someone to your side or behind you or in front of you, because you're always traveling in clusters. And I don't know, when you're on a bike and you're going a lot different speed, you know, all that junk, it comes up on you, but then it passes you, and it's quiet. It's just nice and quiet for, you know, maybe 30 seconds or so, depending on how big your city is or where you're riding. And it's just nice and quiet and so enjoyable. And then the cars come back again. That was one of the things I looked up online. I was trying to see, you know, is there any place in the world, modernized world, I guess I should say, are there any cities anywhere that totally outlaw automobiles? And there are some cities, you know, that are old medieval cities like Venice that aren't really equipped for automobiles, so there may be less in some areas, but I don't think there's any modern city. Maybe that's part of the problem. Definition of modern city where even in the Netherlands, where there are no cars. You know, cars are just not allowed across the border into the city. Everybody walks everywhere, you know, by foot, by horse or buggy, or buggy's sort of like a car, or a bicycle. Except, I imagine there might be some retirement communities where they are like that, except there are like golf carts probably. So yeah, for the most part, I don't think there's any one major, well, definitely not major city, one town or city around that forbids motor vehicles. That'd be so cool though. If I was a bazillionaire, I'd probably start something like that. Start a little town where it's just a little town, you know, you got a grocery, you got all your essentials, but you got to park your truck or your stupid car. No, I shouldn't really say that. I own a car. I have nothing against cars, but you got to park your motor vehicle on the edge of town or something, and you can't bring it into town. And so the whole town would just be quiet, clean, and just you know, a wonderful place to live. I don't know, sort of a bicyclist paradise. But like I said, you know, that's not reality. We gotta coexist. Motorists and bicyclists, we gotta coexist, guys. We gotta coexist. You just gotta learn to live with each other and Once you accept that, then there's nothing to stress out about. And there's no need for a banning of bicycles or banning of cars from any town or city. It's one thing I don't like, having to register or get a license for your bicycle. I'm totally against that because I call myself I guess I consider myself politically a small government, big government guy. Some things I like big, some things I like small government. Some things I want private, some things I want, public. I think most people are like that. For different reasons, for different things. Everybody's trying to get a good deal. But, anyway, my throat is drying out. Time to drink some water. I have to look behind me occasionally because, I don't know, some people are different than others, but usually I'm just sort of in the zone. But when all of a sudden, for whatever reason, the zone breaks away from me, I can sometimes get a little nervous, like, is there anybody behind me? Or it's sort of dark. I'm out in the woods by myself. It's sort of spooky. Hey, there's those guys again. Thought I'd see him again. Hey there!
Hey there.
Thought I'd see him again. And there you go with the big government thing. I got him on videotape. I'm sure they saw my camera. They're forever. I have their souls. I have their souls. Bluffton, Missouri, that's where we are. Let's see here. Oh, can you believe that? There's like no cars around, and I'm the guy who gets stuck having to completely stop. So it just happened to be a horrible timing, and there was a car coming. Geez, I'd hate to be that guy, cutting all this grass. It's another reason why I don't really live out in the country. Too much grass to cut. I just grow a bunch of trees and let it all become a forest. And then when a forest fire occurs and my house burns down, I can blame the government or whatever. Why'd you let it happen to me? Oh my gosh. Legs are sort of tired. We've gone over 20 miles. I think we got a little less than 10 miles to go now. I knew I'd see those guys again. I've not seen that motor vehicle guy though. That guy in the golf cart or whatever that was. Gasoline powered four-wheeler. Sort of funny, the people you meet on trails like this. I didn't stop to talk to any people, but it's like I sort of just assume they're locals, but I would have to guess that most of the people who use this trail are people who don't live around here and they're just passing through, like myself. Yeah, so let's see, we passed those tourist guys that at about the 5 mile away from Portland mark. They're traveling quite a bit slower than me then. However, they have a load of stuff on their bikes, so I give them that handicap. I'm just talking and going. Out in the open a little more now. Sorry, I keep sort of bumping the camera, I think. The nice thing with the GoPro is when the battery dies on me, it will beep at me like, what the heck? change the battery. I'm out of battery power. So the battery hasn't died yet. It's awesome. It's partially due to the heat though, how hot it gets. And like I said, it's rather cool, and if I keep moving here, I can get a nice air stream over the case and keep it cool a little longer. Keep bumping the camera, sorry about that. Noticing that. I got a big old smartphone in my pocket, and move it out of the way there. So we just passed back that away, Bluffton, Missouri, I think is what it was called. Heading back to McKittrick, Missouri from Portland, Missouri. Total of 30 miles thereabouts. And then we will continue from Portland, Missouri in a future video. Somebody up ahead. It's just weird because I don't know where these people come from. Maybe they are locals, because there's not really any other trailhead between, unless they came up so far and they turned around. Gone 21.5 miles, less than 10 miles to go. Going 14.8 miles per hour. I can start to feel my knee is aching a little because the seat is too low. I can't bend my leg far enough and can't stretch it out enough. Also doing that goofy thing earlier where I was bicycling with one leg just because I was trying to show off or something. It's bite me in the butt now. Oh well. I'm surprised it's not a lot of people. I'm surprised I'm even seeing a few people on the trail though, because it's the holiday and I figured people would be doing stuff with their families, you know, not like a weirdo like me. And I get back and have some good family time here soon. Feel better for it here. A good bicycle ride in. Good exercise, good health. Something smacked my sunglasses. Another good reason to wear cycling glasses so you don't get all sorts of junk in your eye. I passed this guy on the left, I think. This person. Well, hey. Gotta say hi, even if they don't say hi back. We're all tired out here. We're all cyclists. We're all in a race to get somewhere. We go in a big circle. That guy was nice though. People are generally nice, and that goes the same for motorists. It's a lack of communication that creates aggression, I think. It's when people do not speak to each other. It just sort of creates a false sense of, contempt for one another. When all you gotta do is wave or smile or say something. But there are different personality types, and just gotta understand that. Can't we all just get along? Especially us bicyclists, though, we gotta stick together. The motorists certainly don't stick together. Us bicyclists can stick together, we can be that much stronger for it. Encourage cycling, like I hope my videos do for lots of other people. It's also good motivation for myself though too. I will have to admit to that. Part of the reason I do these videos is it's self-motivating, I think, and it's a little bit of a therapeutic in a way. It encourages you to get out and cycle more, and you might otherwise just stay inside and eat potato chips or whatever, or eat that extra hot dog at 4th of July. Not that I'm saying you don't deserve it, but you know, treat your body right. 15.2 miles per hour. We're sort of not really going very fast anymore. My legs are tired. 22.5 miles. Got like less than 8 miles to go now. Coming back out to sort of farmland now, away from the river. Woo-wee. Yeah. So this video is going to end up being like 2 hours long, and I'm not gonna cut it because I'm lazy. I don't really edit my videos. If you want uncut footage, subscribe to Bike Blogger. It's gonna take me a while to upload this 2 hour long video, considering it's as long as a feature-length film. Bike Blogger. McKittrick to Portland, Missouri. In theaters soon, once we finish the video. Out in the open now. Out in the open now. Out in the open. Along the road to my right, I think, is Highway 94, although I could be wrong. Missouri 94 or whatever. I've gone 23 miles. That's 7 more miles to go now. The next trek that we'll be doing will probably be in the same vicinity of about 30 miles round trip. We're sort of ticking these off in 30-mile increments. So 1 video is 30 miles, 2 videos is 60 miles, 3 videos is 90 or almost 100 miles round trip. But on this 30-mile round trip, we have, of course, only covered 15 miles of the 200-plus mile Katy Trail, so there's a lot more to be seen. It's a cool house over there, nice big front yard, and a beautiful view of the corn crops over there, the farm land over there. Seven miles to go. Woo! Feels nice out. The sun's sort of low now, so it's also not as hot. And like I said, it is just a pretty nice, I mean, for a July, oh my gosh, you know, getting into the middle of summer here, and it's in the mid to low 80s Fahrenheit. I mean, that is pretty cool. I mean, when it could otherwise be in the 90s, although I very much expect the 90s and 100-degree temperatures come August or late July here. In the next couple weeks probably. As long as it's not really humid, it's not so bad though. Get a lot of humidity around here with all this standing water, mosquitoes and all that good stuff. 23.5 miles. That's 6.5 miles to go now. Making good time, I think. I mean, we're not going as fast as we were earlier. We're averaging more like 15 or 14.5 miles per hour, but 7:37 p.m. We've gone 1 hour, 35 minutes. It's about averaging 50 miles per hour now. Max speed is 20. If I had to guess, I got another 25 minutes maybe until we're done. We'll see. Try not to bump the camera. I keep doing that, man. Jeez. Try not to do that, bike vlogger. I'd get a new smartphone, but I really like the one I got, and I've tried to get a new one that was lighter weight, and it was slower for whatever reason. Couldn't use the programs I wanted to use with it. Something messed up with the operating system. I do like Android though, but I don't know what the deal was, so I reverted back to my brick of a smartphone, and has a nice big screen. I like that. I'm sure I'll have to upgrade sometime though, once my camera finally does die. Alright, so we've gone about 24 miles, so 6 miles to go, six and a half miles to go. It's out in the field, pretty hills in the horizon over there. So I can't see around my arm. It's pretty views though, out in the country, out in the Midwest, in the state of Missouri, USA. I live in St. Louis, which is on the border of Missouri and Illinois. These people have a big party going on over there. Or just a lot of people live in that house. I don't know. There's a lot of cars over there. Let's get another shot of that. Big brother taking pictures for the FBI. Yeah, because I'm a federal agent on the Katy Trail. But no, I live in St. Louis, so I'm on the border of the state of Missouri and the state of Illinois. Of course, if you talk to anybody and you think of Missouri, or well, you know, there's St. Louis and to a lesser extent Kansas City, and then there's Missouri, everything in between. Same sort of goes for the state of Illinois. There's St. Louis, and then there's Chicago, also known as the surrounding area. Politically is called Cook County. So there's Cook County, and then there's Illinois. You know, I mean, there's one massive city like Chicago, and then there's the rest of the state. And as is typical or whatever with the way our political system works, how the government has control over its citizens. The major metropolitan areas are generally Democratic, and the rural areas are generally Republican, of the two major political parties in the United States. And that's just how it is. I don't see that changing anytime soon. It's how it's always sort of been. I think there's rural America and somewhat more urban or suburban America. The country's just so huge. It's hard to get the message across the country from rural America to urban America and urban America to rural America. And people who don't live in the United States may not understand that so much. If they've never been here, never traveled here before. So much of the U.S. is empty space, pretty much, or government-owned land, protected lands or something. I mean, it's a lot of people live in the U.S., well over 300 million, but a lot of it is like this, pristine looking and rather quiet, sort of nice. I definitely do not want now is a pop tire. Getting back here. Feels wonderful out. Having a great time. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Gone about 25 miles. So we got just about a little over 5 miles to go. And that'll be end of this trek. May or may not recognize what we've been passing here. So we passed it going the other direction earlier in the video when I was hooting and hollering about something else probably. And now I'm just sort of getting tired, so trying to readjust the camera there. The legs are tired. You gotta stay hydrated to keep that water flowing through the body. Nearing the end of the ride, so I got another bottle of water in the car. I can sort of just drink a whole bunch now if I want. Woo! 25.15 miles. Traveling at a speed of 15.4 miles per hour, 15.2 miles per hour. Okay, we had to stop there for a second. The battery had died. We're only 5 miles away now from McKittrick, Missouri. Almost there now. Oh, I hated having to stop right there though, because I was getting a bunch of bugs flying around me and land on me and trying to bite me up, I think. So we're almost done now. 25.29, 25.3 miles we've gone. Almost near the end now. The battery lasted, I guess, battery lasted about an hour, 40 minutes. I think that's sort of the going rate with these typical GoPro batteries, 1 hour, 40 minutes. So, like I said, 5 miles to go, so we should probably be done in 20 minutes or less here. Crossing the bridge. Woo! Bike blogger. Okay, 25.5 miles. Less than 5 miles to go. My butt couldn't be happier. This saddle's nice and cushy to begin with, but if you ride for any length of time like this and you got a cushy saddle, you'll quickly realize cushy does not quite mean comfortable. Part of the problem is your butt doesn't get fully, situated on the saddle. The saddle doesn't really get used to you. It compresses and then you lift your butt off of it and it decompresses and slow here. And have to get resituated on the saddle. Bridge. Those people got a couple barns. Pretty looking red barns. I don't know where the red color comes in, but red barns are pretty typical of being out in the country. I'm pretty certain they got red barns in other countries. It's not just a US thing. Like I said before at the beginning of this video, it is July 4th of July 2015, Independence Day in the United States. Celebrating independence from the United Kingdom and all that good stuff. I know I've heard in the news that, oh shoot, there goes my horrible understanding of the world. Was it Scotland or something that's that wants to declare independence from the United Kingdom now? I think Northern Ireland already did a while ago. But, yeah. England eventually will be all by themselves. There you go again. There's London and then there's the rest of the country. No, not really, but we've gone 26 miles. Got another 4 miles to go here. have not had a single bicyclist or extremely fast runner, I have to mention that too, pass me yet. Traveling about 50 miles per hour. And I'm not moving that fast. I'm certainly not all that. I'm not the most fit person either, but 15 miles per hour. It's nice to sort of have the place to yourself. Getting a little bit more dense. We're not quite out in the country as much. We're in Rhineland, Missouri now, it looks like. I don't know if I pronounced that right at all or not. I crossed the road. Nice and easy. All right. I believe we're gonna have to cross back over the road here in a little bit, if I remember correctly. It's getting a little darker as the sun goes down. We should definitely be back before the sun goes down though, so no worries for not having my flashlight. People starting to shoot a little fireworks off even though you can't really see anything. You can still hear it, I guess. I guess that's part of the thrill. The noise and the pollution it lets off. Okay. Don't get me wrong, I like shooting fireworks off too, it's fun. Okay. Oh man. Gonna get out of this little town here, and then the very next town I suppose will be McKittrick, Missouri. I must say, this has got to be like, at least the parts I'm passing through, this has got to be like the biggest town between McKittrick and Portland. Rhineland is, they got their own ball field and stuff. It's sort of a big little city for being all the way out here. Got some industrial looking stuff. That's probably what feeds a lot of the revenue to this town. Or who knows, maybe Bill Gates owns the town, you never know. Crazy billionaires. Okay. Shoom. Haven't fallen off my bike yet. A little bit of twisting around there. Gone 26.8 miles, traveling at a speed of 15.2 miles per hour. Instead of averaging that, we averaged about 15.5 going the other way. Now we're averaging about 15 going back. So we're getting a little tired, going a little slower. And now I need to cross the road again. I might have to stop for some cars. Let's see. Highway 94. All right, we're good. Yay, didn't have to stop. A little bit of climbing to the hill here though. And we are now exiting Rhineland. Okay, so we're out of that town now. Next one should be McKittrick, because it should be just about 3 miles away, because we have now gone 27 miles. And we're traveling at a speed of 14.2, 14.6 miles per hour. 15 miles per hour. Almost done here. So yeah, lots of neat videos coming up in the future. Should try out a new flashlight. Pretty much all my commutes now are not going to be, you know, at nighttime, because it's in the middle of summer now. But I will be doing some night videos occasionally, and you'll get to see that new light. And in all its glory in the darkness. And I don't think we have to pass any more streets now. Let's see. Can't remember. A little bridge. Gone 27.3 miles. Neat sort of little farmhouse back there, and a little farm, little itty bitty farm. Something up on the hill over there, I don't know what that is. It's probably a UFO or something. I'm joking. Okay, let's drink some water. Props to you guys and gals if you stuck in there with this whole video. If you watched up to now, that's a long video. It takes a commitment, a bike blogger commitment, to watch all my videos, to like all my videos, to comment on all my videos too. Watch the whole video. Oh my. Getting a little dark. 27.5 miles. 2.5 miles to go. I feel like I got something in my shoe. Hopefully it's not a little bug or something. Anyway, 15 miles per hour. Nice and cool, nice and shady. Early July, early summer. Kids are out of school. People are going swimming at the pool. Because they're out of school. In the pool. Ugh. Let's see, what time is it? 7:55 p.m. It's almost 8 o'clock. 5 minutes till 8. And I got a little over 2 miles to go. I don't think I'll be able to do that in 5 minutes, but we'll be done here a little after 8 o'clock. Pretty much perfect timing, I think. As long as there aren't any accidents on the highway when I go home, I should be able to get home and go see the fireworks. Although I might not be able to eat dinner until after the fireworks. Be late tonight. It's a Saturday though, so it all sort of works out. No work tomorrow on Sunday. My nose has been pretty good. Like I said earlier in the video, I don't try to avoid dairy, so I find it messes with my sinuses. My nose has been pretty good, and I don't have a really bad nose or anything. Although I probably will blow my nose when I'm done here. Clean out my systems. Sort of going through a purge right now. 28 miles. A couple miles to go. Traveling at 14.8 miles per hour. 15 miles per hour. Across a little driveway road there. Another barn and a farm and all this stuff. You can definitely tell the people who own more land is over there, unless they have their house over to the left and their farm's over to the right. Seem like they'd be separate parcels of land though, separately owned, but you never know. Rough surface, caution. It is a little rough. The tires are eating it up though, they're doing just fine. A little washed out, I guess. Nothing bad though. Nothing this bike can't handle. 28.3 miles. Traveling at 14.8 miles per hour. 15 miles per hour now. Keeping some good speed going. I did a video not too long ago. No commentary, so very different than this video. Also mounted the camera on the bike. And I sort of figured, hey, you know, it's also a really flat ride. It might be a good indoor training ride. But I don't know, maybe this would be a better indoor training ride video. You can sort of see the cyclist that is mine, bike blogger's hands on the handlebars. And it's 2 hours long, so it's actually a pretty good training video. Like I said, check out my other Katy Trail video, Treloar to McKittrick. This was McKittrick to Portland, and almost back to McKittrick now. Round trip. A mile and a half to go now. Nearly done. It's nice and cool. It's a good thing I got another bottle of water in my car, because this bottle is just about empty, I think. One full bottle of water. This is like a 24 ounce or something. Good amount of water for a 2-hour ride. Although, when it's even hotter than this, there's less shade, probably want a lot more water. If you're like me. I can actually fit 2, or no, I don't think I can. No, I can't. I can only fit 1 water bottle on this bike without using because there's not actual more holes, braze-ons or whatever they call them on the frame. I need a clip-on water bottle holder, or one of those that you hang off the back end of your saddle. I actually got a attachment thing for that, where you can stick 2 more water bottles on the back of your bike without, getting a bag and putting them in a bag or in a pannier or something. So, yeah, if I ever want to go longer than this, I probably want some sort of attachment or something on my bike so I could bring another water bottle. Or I'd wear an actual cycling jersey, and then you got all those pockets in the back. That's what's really convenient about a cycling jersey. You can just reach back and grab a whole bunch of bottles and snacks and stuff real easily. So you got back pockets, and that way I could have more water bottles rather than just this one. Or I could carry a huge big gulp or something filled with actual water, of course. So it's like 7-Eleven bladder busters. Okay, 29.15 miles. We got 1 mile to go, and we'll be back in McKittrick. And it is now 8:01 p.m. I think we started a little after 6, and we're ending a little after 8. So, our total time will be, as I anticipated, at about a 15 mile per hour rate, average speed. A 2-hour long video. Not much further now. And last time, in my last video, I was coming back and it was getting pretty dark, and I had to use my flashlight. This time I don't have a flashlight, but it's not getting dark as early. I think on that video I also got back around 8 o'clock or 8:30. But that was earlier in the year, when the sun was going down earlier. Now it's later in the year and the sun goes down later, or closer to summertime. So going at 14.8, 50 miles per hour, 29.45 miles. A little over half a mile to go now. My legs and butt will be thanking me soon. I need to probably be just leaning over more like this and distributing my weight more off of my butt. No matter what though, you always sort of have at least 60%, I would assume, of your body weight on a saddle versus on the handlebars. You also want less weight on your handlebars and more on the saddle, or that's just more typical for control purposes. Well, I'm just looking at I think there was some sort of like a fire truck that was going that way on the highway. It looked like an old-timey fire truck though. It did not look like those fancy-pantsy $500,000 tanker fire trucks. It looked like an old-timey one. 29.7 miles. Less than a half mile to go. not having to pass any roads, just a lot of these little roads or driveways basically. It's getting darker. Still pretty scenery though. The Katy Trail. Trying not to mess up the camera here. I have to readjust the angle when I get home. Hope I haven't been bumping it up or down too far. All right, 29.85 miles, 15 miles per hour. I'm seeing telephone poles. Whoa, we're almost back now. Messed with the front derailleur there for a second. Telephone pole. Almost back into town now. This has been a good ride. Getting a good constant, nearly 15 miles per hour, I think. I'll give you all the details here in a moment when I stop. Up ahead, and just about a quarter mile up ahead here, we're gonna stop. We're gonna go over the stats real quick, and then I'll end the video. Thanks for coming along. Another house out there. Sort of been trying to turn the camera occasionally to sort of give you another viewing angle. Not too much further now. We've gone over 30 miles. Authorized vehicles only. If I remember correctly, it was a little more than 15 miles going from McKittrick to Portland. So it's going to be a little more than 15 going back, of course, obviously. Unless the world's shrinking or something. Leave that to the astrophysicists. Physicists! 30.25 miles. Slowing down. We're getting tired. 14.4 miles per hour. I think I can see the end. You want to sprint to the end? Let's sprint to the end. Not much of a sprint, but 19 miles per hour. Trying not to bump the camera with this smartphone. 19 miles an hour. I'm gonna cross this bridge. I think it was the first bridge we came to on this ride. Oh yeah, and there was the tunnel. Can't forget the tunnel. 18 miles an hour. Woo! 21 miles an hour. And we made it through the tunnel. Woo! It's not Halloween yet. And this is dumping us back into McKittrick, Missouri. Total distance, I think each way is more like 15.5 miles, not 15 miles. I might have read it wrong online. Oh my. Good deal, 16 miles an hour. We made it back. Woo. And that does it. We just came from Portland, Missouri, that-a-way. We're landing here at McKittrick, Missouri. McKittrick, Missouri. All right, let's give you some of the stats as I promised. We've traveled a total of 30.76 miles. Total time was 2 hours, 3 minutes, 45 seconds. Average speed was 14.91 miles per hour. A little under 15 miles per hour. Max speed was 21.11 miles per hour. And the time now is 8:08 p.m. That was the GMC Denali on the Katy Trail from McKittrick, Missouri, all the way to Portland, Missouri. Watch my future videos. I'll go from Portland onward west in the state of Missouri, USA. Thanks for watching. Lightning.